I probably should just like ask for confirmation, given that it takes a little bit of time for it to appear in. Yeah, so I think I'm coming in now. Anyways, yeah, let me just pour some beer and then we'll begin, get things off the road. Basically, the reason we started just about 10 minutes late, I guess, 5 to 10 minutes, 15 minutes late, was because I had issues trying to set up OBS. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get OBS set up for today's live stream. So this is now, we're using Google Hangouts just like we did last week. Yeah, good to hear. And the main issue with that is that now I can't really broadcast sound. You know, I wanted to do things like make this more and more like a real official podcast. You know, have sounds, music jingles, maybe have a higher optimal quality stream so that we can actually like watch videos in live at the same time instead of it being more like a PowerPoint slideshow. But actually, given how many words I wrote about today's review subject matter, there isn't too much to actually I didn't really have much to show anyway, so it might be all for the best that I couldn't get OBS set up today. I figured while I wait for, I know that someone else I know might be coming in to listen to the stream, so I thought we'd just start off with something relatively light-hearted before we get down to the meat of what I wanted to talk about today. Actually, wait a second. One thing I did want to actually have up. My anime list. I'm going to get my anime list up because I also do want to talk briefly. So today's scheduled show is, I'm going to start off with something silly. Just going to do a little, you know, one of those quizzes I did a while back. I did a quiz for which Juni Tyson character I was. So I looked up another silly one for this week just to kind of do as a fun introduction until, you know, while we potentially wait for stragglers to come on. Not to mention, I can't imagine today's one lasting as long as I don't have as much news to go over. So today's schedule is I'll do a little survey thing. I'll talk a little bit about some anime I'm watching at the moment as a little update. We'll also perhaps go over the anime chart, actually. Let's go with that next after Nagi. Yeah, I'll go over Nagi no Asukara, and how I'm thinking of that anime so far, so a progress report. Then we'll talk about the next up-and-coming anime season and what looks good, what doesn't look good, very briefly. And then finally, we'll end things off on my review for today, which will be a review of Darling in the Franxx. So with that all said and done, let's get into the just the fun thing. Today's quiz I found is, what type of Dere are you? Apparently this one's a very accurate one. It's the 95% accurate with 558 votes, so I suppose that's pretty good. I don't even know what all these Deres are. The one I'm most what's its name familiar with is the Tsundere one and the Yandere one for different reasons. But you know, basically they describe character archetypes in anime. And basically this is a quiz to find out which Dere am I? Which Andrew is the Dere? So let's have a look and just try and answer as earnestly as I can. So how are you? And it's now ways of saying hello. So hello, ... Hello. Well, hurry up then to the quiz. Oh, hello there. Oh, hello there. None of these kind of come across as too as really normal. That one's too passive. That one's a bit too quirky. That's rude. I guess. Oh, hello there. Oh, hello. Favorite color? Well, that's easy for me. My favorite color is yellow. Favorite kind of pet? I like fish. I know it's boring. I know people tend to be more like cats and dogs. They don't think goldfish and such count as pets, but I do like fish quite a bit. I tried to get the most incel answer. Yes, you've been educating me quite thoroughly as to what that is. I don't know what the most incel Dere would be, I'm afraid, but you know, we'll see how close we get to it. You can be the judge because you're the expert on such things. How do you describe yourself in one word? Spicy, ladylike gentleman, lovely, logical, liar, a quiet, friendly, unforgiving, shy, or possessive. You know, I just want to point out, whenever these quizzes have something like liar in them, the thing that's kind of weird about that is if you're a liar, why would you be truthful about being a liar? Because that would be telling the truth. But if you're telling the truth and say you are a liar, then you're obviously not a liar because you just told the truth. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I guess because I mean, in some ways, I encompass bits and pieces, but I like to think I'm a friendly guy. So, enough small talk. So if your crush talked to you, how would you react? Talk a bit harsh due to being shy, instantly regret it afterwards. That's definitely a Dere. Cheerfully talk about whatever they came to talk to you about. Specifically has to be cheerfully. Can't just be like, you know, depends on the tone of the conversation. Too shy to answer, so you keep quiet. No, that's just weird. Only talk when needed during the conversation. No, that's the opposite of what you should do for a crush. I guess talk cheerfully is the closest thing. What if your crush started to date someone who is not you? Be devastated, act as if it doesn't hurt you, but then get really hurt for a long time. Cry to yourself, be down for a long while. Plot to get them to break up. Ruin both their lives any way you can. Be down for a while, but it won't get you down for too long. It hurts, but you would move on rather soon. The last two answers seem rather similar to each other to me. Yeah, I guess just move on. These two pretty much feel the same, though. What if you confessed and they rejected you? Wait, am I screen sharing right now? Oh shit, I'm not even screen sharing. Oh, that's a sham. I should probably screen share these answers. 1 second. How do you... Fuck, I can't even remember how you screen share on this. Professionalism. How do you screen share on this again? How do you... Yeah, I now noticed. 1 moment. What the fuck, man? I don't understand. How do I... That's how you add people. Oh, it's called... Oh, I found it. We got it. Okay, application window. There we go. That should be coming in now. Sorry about that. You can see my previous... I'll scroll up and down a bit. There we go. So, you know, you can kind of see what I was saying there. Oh, welcome, Jesse Bolin. Yes, professionalism. So, yeah. Those are the answers so far. Luckily, I've been reading them all out anyway. But, yeah. We're still halfway through. What if you confessed and they rejected you? Laugh and play it cool by saying if they thought you were serious, be hurt afterwards. Accept the rejection and move on. Be shocked, but then try to play it as a joke. Be a bit disheartened, but smile and move on. At least you told them. Physically harm them. Holy shit. Vowing to make them regret ever rejecting. You'll live to regret this. You would be devastated. You wouldn't be able to really get over them. Play it cool. Just nod, then go home. Cry for a bit afterwards. Move on slowly. I don't know if you'd be shocked. I mean, I guess in some ways I'd be shocked because if you confessed, you probably thought you had a good chance. Ignore the meat. What's the meat blob behind the keyboard? I don't understand. Be a bit disheartened. I guess I'd just move on. Yeah, smile and move on. I think that's the best way. I mean, what are you going to do? There's an impasse. What if they ask you out? I would accept. It's not like I don't like them. It's not like I don't like them. Accept cheerfully, since they'll make sure it'll work out between us. Happily accept. Nod and accept confession. It's just a confession to go out. It's not a big deal. I would accept. They really treat me... They better treat me above all else. I would only accept it if they agreed to treat me like royalty. Just nod. I'm too shy to answer. No, that's awkward and weird. Accept nonchalant, acting as if it didn't really excite me, even if I was really happy. You're playing the game there. Casually accept, even if you were waiting for this moment for a long time. Scoff at them, not taking it seriously, but accept it anyways. Happily accept. These are all really strangely descriptive and specific with their answers. I can't tell, like, is there really that many Deres, and do they differ this mildly between them? Like, these two seem the same. Like, treat me above all else, treat me like royalty is kind of the same thing, right? What would you do if they cheated on you? Oh boy. Well, there's an impasse. Be really hurt and force them to make it up to you big time. Make the one who took their attention from you pay big time. Oh, this is with them in big time. Repetition. Even if it means blackmailing or worse, you'll never make them either forget it. Be hurt, but forgive them since they chose you. Well, no, they didn't choose you. They cheated on you. So this is going off the context that they came up to you and said, "Hey, sorry, I did a bad thing." I guess it's weird because the context is sort of flip-floppy. Be really hurt, slightly close yourself off from them for a bit. Be really hurt, you will still like them, so you'll forgive them. Be uncertain of the relationship, but would forgive them. Break off the relationship as you don't think it will work after the betrayal. Secretly hurt them. Ooh, the long game. But stay with them since you really hurt them, but like them, but secretly hurt them. I don't know if that's even yandere. I'd break it off, to be honest. We're at an impasse at this point. In most contexts, there might be like this 1% of times out of many where it could keep working, but in my opinion, I think we can't do it. What would you do if they chose to break up with you? Make a big scene and make it look like I broke up with them. I wouldn't know what I would do. Love is a scary thing. Be heartbroken, but get right back up since at least I had fun. Accept it and move on, but your heart will be closed off for a long time. Turn it around and break up with it. You can't fire me! I quit! Make a huge scene and storm off. You're hurt, but your pride was hurt just then. Quietly accept it, leaving only them to cry to your best friend. Accept it casually, leaving to be alone and just think about your time with them. Smile, accept it. Even if you don't accept it, that you won't be able to get over it. Cuss them out and leave in a rage. Destroy every memory you had of them, including them themselves. I wouldn't make a big scene. I wouldn't get right back up. Maybe I'd just close off for a while. You'd move on, but you'd probably be closed. I'd probably make myself scarce for a bit. Maybe go on a lot of long walks. What's most important to you? Try to be truthful. Be with the one I love. Have fun. Being alone. Being in charge. Being myself. My friends. Family. Relationships. Getting even. Getting even with the oppressors. No, family. Family's first for me. Favorite season. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. Wait, what? Wait, they actually put winter before autumn. That's interesting. I naturally said it in the correct order, but yeah, they've written it in an order that's unorthodox to throw you for a loop. They're so wacky and zany. Now, honestly, this is gonna sound pretty mushy, but I actually like every season. There's something I like about each one, and I'm saying a lot of likes there. Like Justin Bieber. Spring, you got your start. I'm not going to describe each one, but each one has their own merits to them. There's not one I don't like. So I guess even though I don't really care sounds dismissive, it's in a good way that I don't really care because they've all got something to offer. And autumn right now feels like it would be the worst one, but it's the same season I get Scott and Loves Anime, for instance. Anyway, moving on. An ideal date. Going out shopping, clothes, trying out food, game store. It's alright. Amusement park. That's alright. A night and watching movies. Yeah, but I wouldn't really consider that a date. Going to bookstores, a picnic. It kind of includes that, doesn't it? Doesn't going shopping bookstores? A picnic or a day out. Go watch a movie in a theater. I'll go for a day out. I do like going on a day out. Make some memories. Okay, one last romance question. What would you do if your crush kissed you at random before either of you confessed? Ooh, they made the move. I spilt my beer. Oh. Not good. Oh, it's all over me. It's all over my Jack Daniels t-shirt. Oh. Not good. That's gonna leave smell. I'd rather drink that, not spill it. Oh, that's gonna be uncomfortable. Maybe I'll change later. Anyway, smack him. That was uncalled for. Wait, did you just assume the gender of the person I was dating? Wait, or had a crush on? Happily accept it. Laugh it off. Make him or her beg for my forgiveness. Shake it off. Not as if it meant anything, right? Well, it's a crush, so I guess it doesn't really mean anything if it's just a little crush, a little fling. No, developed into anything yet. Get angry and complain about it until they say sorry. Brush it off, only to get totally flustered afterwards and think about it for a while. You can't look them in the eye afterwards. That's a very long-winded one. Be quiet, trying to play it cool. Sadly, you're too embarrassed to look them in the eyes. Smile and accept it, but laugh it off. Make them regret kissing you without prior consent. Well, I wouldn't do that. Let's see. I mean, if it's a crush, then I assume it's a good thing. I'll happily accept it. Yeah, sure. That's fine. Well, see you later then. See ya. Bye. Ciao. I blessed you with my presence. Good day. Who is this? Which Dere is this? There's like a really pompous person in all this. See you later then. Okay. ... Has different connotations if you've seen the movie Mamma Mia. Yeah, see you whenever. Whatever. See ya. Alright, what Dere am I? I'm a Dere. What's a Dere? You can be the Dere twice? Congratulations. I result of 14% of the members here. Example, Otomi Arisagawa from Aikatsu. I don't know who this is. I don't even know what anime this is. You're entirely sweet and extremely energetic. You are this way inside and out. Even when down, you just get right back up again, being your usual cheery self. I could think of worse Deres. I feel like she's wearing yellow. Yellow's my favorite color. Is that wait? What is the worst kind of Dere? Really? What's wrong with being Dere? All right. Anyways, that's our introduction to get us all warmed up and stuff. Feel free to take the quiz yourself and find out. Actually, no, I'll just post in the chat here. Feel free to take the quiz yourself and let me know what Dere you got in your own time or whatever. You can comment it down below. This is a YouTube video after all as well. If you do it post uploading this. And let's move on to the next thing. So the next thing I want to talk about is I was recommended by users Queen Inoue and what was his name? Shit, what's his name again? Bring up the Discord. What's his name? It was Marina Burt to check out the show Nagi no Asukara, which I knew because I knew it's the show that has mermaids or whatever in it, and it's like a seaside school sort of thing. And the thing that was apparently very striking about it is that it's written by Mari Okada, who's apparently a big popular figure. Weirdly enough, she's not listed as staff here early on, but she's apparently a very prominent writer within the anime industry, you see. So, oh, there it is. Mari Okada. She's apparently a very, she's done a lot of projects, apparently very influential behind quite a lot of shows such as Kuro Shitsuji, Black Butler and stuff. And, I was told to have a look at it. I can't read the review on the Anime Pulse officially, so I'm eventually going to review it here because it's already been done there. But so far, so good. I've watched about 5 episodes of it. It's not perfect. What I will say is that is it by, as is standard by anything that you kind of get from. Oh wait, I'm getting some information here as to what Dere. So. Oh, you're not one for energetic people. That's why I suck. And you're Tsundere, Shugo. You're just being... So maybe you do like energetic people. You're just not being honest with your feelings, Shugo. That's it, if you're a Tsundere. Oh, the link goes directly to the Tsundere result. Okay. Yeah, so I've checked out a few episodes of it. I think as expected from something produced by PA Works, who... Are they the guys that made... Yes, they do. They made Sakuraso and stuff. No, they didn't. They didn't make Sakuraso. I'm talking up my ass. They made... Yeah, they made Hanasaku Iroha, Shirobako. That's a really famous one that they made. They make some very good-looking shows, basically. So, and I'm keeping in touch, keeping true to that. Nagi no Asukara, I keep calling it Asukara, fuck. Nagi no Asukara does look really good so far. Visually, the world's very well realized in it. It's about, basically, it's kind of like Ponyo, but more like a mainstream anime and less Ghibli-ish, because, like, there's a civilization of fish people. Well, they're not really fish people, like, it's just that they can breathe and, like, walk underwater and stuff, and they've built a town, and they live in they live by a coastal village, and then the school children from there are now attending above the surface school. There's a lot of teen drama going on here between the characters, you know, love triangles. It's like a love daisy chain, actually. Like, I've got to point it out. So like this girl here, she fancies this guy, but she also, the human surface world guy, but she also kind of fancies this guy. This guy fancies her, but this girl here fancies this guy. And I think this guy fancies this girl. So it's a little bit of a weird intersection there, and there's a lot of just like kind of like over dramatic stuff that goes on in the show. But I am pretty surprised that by episode 5, it's progressed quite far. Characters have changed and developed already quite a bit, and the progress has been quite good. And again, the visuals of the show is quite nice too. So it's got a lot of moe moments, which could be distracting for some, and the drama could be distracting for some. But the world is very well realized, and if you can get behind the kind of drama that's in there, it's not all misses, because some of it actually is quite I like it's quite touching at times. So far so good. It's got 26 episodes in total, so I'm only like 20% in at the moment. Hopefully it keeps it up. It's got an 8.2, which is respectable on the Annie list. So yeah, that's the progress report on ones I'm watching at the moment. Another anime I'm also watching actually. What is it? Yeah, another anime I'm also currently watching right now, but just a few episodes of, is Attack Number 1. It's an old ass anime from 1970s. Apparently, I didn't know it's pretty fucking old. About girls playing volleyball. Basically, the main girl, called Ayahara Kozue, has moved to like a school like in the boonies, and like there's a group of delinquent girls, but like she used to be like a protege like volleyball player. She's a bit of a Mary Sue, because she's got like top grades and top athleticism and stuff. But she goes there and she's gonna reform the delinquent kids so that they can make something of themselves and become star volleyball players. I don't really have much to say. It's funny in some ways just because it is old-fashioned, and the animation is very like, you know, very rough for, you know, well, it's just of its time. It's very rough looking at it now, and it does result in some hilarity for it. Yeah, it's pretty damn old looking. Those eyes, there are moments where they don't blink and they just stare. But hey, and this picture actually looks more polished than what you'll actually get when you're watching this show. When you're watching the show, it kind of looks more like this all the time. Characters are quite often off model. You'll have to tell me what Dere is, Zal. I'm actually not sure what that is, but apparently that's what you are. That's you. So yeah, I don't really have much else to say. It's just kind of funny, and it's just something I'm watching on the side whenever I have the free time, along with something like Legend of the Galactic Heroes, because I'm told that that's like, oh, sorry, burps, one of the best shows ever made, if you didn't know. Now we come to our current anime listings for now, which is the anime that's going to be coming out in fall 2018 that I'm looking forward to. I don't really have any news articles because I was in a bit of a rush today. But if anybody has any worth that they want me to cover, feel free to link it in the chat while I cover this. And that'll be a chance for me to have some time to have a look at it. But if you have anything you want me to cover news-wise, let me know. Let me know. So you're the emotionally shy type. I guess that works. If you feel that's accurate, anyway, you're also Dere. Okay. So yes, anime coming out fall 2018, and look forward to seeing a bunch of previews with them. Obviously, we have a Moe Blob show centered around this time cheerleaders, it looks like, and it's by Doga Kobo. Is it gonna? Yeah, it's comedy sports. Like the main catalyst, the main thing to look out for is comedy slice of life. I have a rule, so if it's a Moe Blob show, I gotta preview it or at least watch it to find the cream of the crop. Given that it's by Doga Kobo, I am not holding out a lot of confidence, although its art style is less like obnoxious and poppy looking than something you usually get from like a Doga Kobo, who, you know, makes shit like Himoto and Gabriel and Jashin-chan Dropkick and shit. Yeah. I don't know what this is. I don't know if I'm gonna watch this one. I don't think it's. I think it might. Does it? I don't think it's Moe Blob. It looks like it actually looks plot-ish. I don't know. Bakumetsu, don't know. Obviously probably not gonna watch that. Beelzebub no Joe. Does that count as a Moe Blob? No, it's got a dude, and it's got a story. It looks quite good visually. I'm not gonna read all the blurbs straight off because I'm don't want to clunk this up a bit too long. How long are we going for at the moment? I don't actually know. There's no timestamp thing on the stream thing, is there? Nope, I can't see it. Anyway, this one looks interesting too. Action, adventure, fantasy, romance. Might check out Conception. It's all capitals for some reson. Looks a bit isekai-ish, actually. People based of constellations, apparently. Now, last time we did something... I'm getting like a Martin Madchen sort of vibe from this, and that is a little bit worrying, but okay. And now we have a boy love one, I think. This is probably yaoi-ish. If I hear good things and someone wants me to watch it, I might give it a look just to see. I was pleasantly surprised with Banana Fish after all. Double Decker, Doug, and Kirill. Very colorful. They look like Tales of Symphonia, or Tales of characters. Studio Sunrise, who did I know them because they did Axel World, so they can do quite good looking shows. Some fantasy. The blurb seems quite generic though. I don't know. Might give it a look. I'm not sure. I'm not much confident in that. I've not watched any fairy tale besides episode 1 of the first series, so probably not going to. Gag manga comedy could be quite fun. Don't know. Might check it out. Gakuen Basara. Oh, it's a reimagining of the Warring States period. Oh, Capcom's action. This is based on a game. Capcom's action game franchise. All right. Goblin Slayer. I know. Joseph's really interested in this one, so probably. Oh, I'm excited for Golden Kamuy too. We'll probably watch that. Probably watch that one. Gyuruzeni, I need to finish the first season. Wait, an anime game isn't Conception that anime series game where main character has to date and I guess generate star children with different girls? Oh, really? That's a bit. Wait, but this looks like an all-female cast here. Maybe, I don't know. You'd have to let me know. I'm at like over 100 on the original Fairy Tail. Yes, I'm watching. It's a long series. I mean, this is it's a typical sort of shonen-esque show. So, yeah, it's long. Definitely watching Golden Kamuy 2. I'm definitely watching Phoenix Wright Series 2, even though it's not in the level of excitement that I have for Golden Kamuy 2, but just more of a, what's the damage? What's the damage? That's the first show I ever reviewed on Anime Pulse, by the way. Hangyakusei Million Arthur. I'll probably have time to read through this when I'm actually like cementing which ones I'm definitely going to be watching with my friend. Oh, sumo wrestling, I think. This one came up as an anticipated one. It could be okay. If it's played right, it's very high energy. I wouldn't mind seeing a show about sumo wrestling. Hora Mimi ga Meteru Yo. A cute story of the daily life between a guy and his cat boy roommate. Huh. Hulizi. Oh, Chinese? Chiname? A poor young man. Okay. Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. Ingress is that game that Niantic made before they made Pokemon Go, which my friend brought to my attention. I'm surprised it got an anime made after it, so might check it out just to see what they've actually done with the game Ingress, because I never played it, but I didn't even know it had characters to begin with. So we got In Nagase, Descendant 17 Otomila, and a color. So it's a colorblind person. PA works possibly good. I don't know. Drama, romance, 2 girls on the cover. Maybe it's a Yuri then. I don't know. Definitely watching me some JoJo. Oh yeah, JoJo's on the table. There's a lot of definite watches this season, that's for sure. So I'm gonna have to be very strict in my anime watching regimen. This one here, Karakuri Circus. looks interesting. I guess the design looks interesting. Like this buff guy here's got a classic look to him. Something about fighting, and there's Franxx is involved. Kaziga Suyoku. What's this? What's this about? It's a sports one. I couldn't tell you what sports this is. What sports is this? Oh, it's a running one. Looks alright. It's production IG. They usually put okay stuff. Game adaptations. I'm a little bit sketchy on those in general. Game adaptations, probably not. Is this Moe Blob? Comedy romance again. What's with the comedy romance stuff? Okay. Don't know what this is. It looks very fantasy-like. At least it doesn't look like an isekai one. Yeah. All right. Oh, that's the one. That's for red. That one's for red. Radiant by Lurch. Traveling the position. It's a very generic blurb, by the way. Like that's the problem whenever we look through. Whenever I look for any chart with all these blurbs, is that they don't tend to do the show justice, which is why I just have to give like episode 1 a go just to check if it's actually any good or not. Because these blurbs are always so generic looking. Same with this one again. Is this what? It doesn't have any genre apparently. I don't know about these. Don't know. Rewrite. This is very weird. It's a romance comedy, but it looks like it would be an ecchi show of some sort. It's by Cloverworks, which not a company I particularly like yet, although they're fairly young comparatively with a lot of ones out there. Nothing else really standing out to me. What's this? TMS. There's a lot of ones I can't put my finger on actually. This is going to be an interesting season, I think, because I don't know. Oh, Trigger's making another mecha. Hey, that's topical because I'm going to be talking about Trigger mecha today. Oh yeah, Sword Art Online. I'm going to have to watch season 2 before I are able to watch this one. I'm trying to be chronological with it. What's this? 8-bit is making Tensei Shitara's slime. Oh yeah, that's another one Red wants to watch. Is about a guy who becomes a slime or something. It seems isekai-ish, maybe? I don't know. Thunderbolt Fantasy is a game of some sort. I've got to watch Index for sure. Whether for good reasons or bad reasons remains to be seen. Oh, is it? Okay. Tokyo Ghoul Re 2. I still need to watch Tokyo Ghoul 1. I've actually been told by user Ghoulish Shinobi to check that series out, and I definitely will, but, you know. Got things on the plate. Due to strange incident, Akari is rescued by a vampire girl named Sophie Twilight. Sophie Twilight. Vampire. And Akari becomes interested in... Okay, so it's a Yuri. Yuri comedy. So it's Yuri Moe. Okay, Conception is about a guy and his pregnant female cousin who are spirited away to a magical... Oh, it's an isekai show at the same time then. Must make star babies with... Oh my god, really? I could not tell from that image that it was that sort of setup. That's weird. I don't know. Kendo or archery? Archery. Okay. Kyoto Animation! Yeah, no biases here, guys. No biases here. Uchinome ga Sugiru. Dogakobo. Oh, Dogakobo. No, it's gonna be fucking... oh no, the lolicon thing at the end too. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Oh man, no. Joan d'Arc too. They love Joan d'Arc, like historic female heroines. They love Joan d'Arc. Look at all the freaking huge racks on them. Look at that. The main girl's different because she isn't. Is that supposed to be Joan d'Arc? Whoa. Constantly defiling his... Yeah, it is. She's the miraculous village girl. This is a Yuri. Yes, this is a Yuri. And this one has absolutely nothing talking about it. Mappa's Zombieland Saga. I love Mappa's work usually, so... Or at least their work visually, so I will check that one out. And that does it in terms of my coverage of it. I actually haven't, in concrete, with my friend discussed what we're going to definitely be watching. So, but we know one of the ones that are for sure going to be checking out. But yeah, I guess that does take us into, what the fuck, that's the same page. I guess that takes us into the final segment for today, which is being the review of Darling in the Franxx. The show here, this one. This is the show. Let's go. So here we go. So, you're scrolling through your seasonal anime chart, fishing for what looks good, you know. There's like a dime a dozen idol shows, 3 kinds of Moe Blob shows, and who can forget some other isekai show of some sort. And Pingu, by the way. The Pingu here for some reason was also in the list, like at the very bottom. Where is it? Yeah, and Pingu. Don't know why. That's anime. I was thinking of previewing that one as a joke. Amongst all of that, if I can compliment anything early on about Darling in the Franxx, is that it looks pretty good. You know, from what I see. But see, the thing is, when someone tells you not to judge a book by its cover, the context is often that you need to look below the surface level to find the quality. But this anime is an example that that kind of phrasing, that term, it goes both ways. Number 2, in bad faith. When you watch too much anime, I found it's increasingly more difficult to get excited for a show. Though maybe that's a good thing, as it tempers your expectations. Still, we all likely have our personal reasons for anticipating something, whether it be that the show has an art style you're taken with, maybe it fits a combination of genres that you have a high affinity with, or maybe some individual or studio is behind it. For me, that was particularly apparent because it was by Studio Trigger, who have managed to impress me not too long ago at the time with Kill la Kill. And while this was a collaborative piece with Cloverworks and A1 Pictures, the latter of which is my least favorite studio apparently in the Anime List analytics, this has only strengthened my intrigue for how it could turn out. I mean, after all, with what I've said about Studio A1, they have put out anime in the past that I've rated rather highly, like Anthem of the Heart. The other main reason I couldn't pass Franxx up was because this was an anime original, a rarity in today's landscape of light novel, game, and manga adaptations. The possibility for unshackled creativity to give us something special, given the studio's, yes, even A1's track records. Moral of the story, try not to get too hyped up for anything, as undoubtedly some of the hope I had for this piece made it all the more disappointing. Number 3, story. The story takes place in the distant dystopian future where humans are on the verge of extinction due to the emergence of large black and blue monsters known as Klaxosaurs. As a result, human society has sequestered itself into fortress cities known as plantations, which are protected by child soldiers bred for the purpose of piloting mecha called Franxx, the only known weapons capable of destroying Klaxosaurs. Franxx have to be piloted in boy-girl pairings, with them taking a provocative position in the cockpit because symbolism, and that has been the issue with the protagonist hero who just can't seem to get up in the aptitude test in piloting a Franxx. Seeing himself as worthless and alone, he is ready to leave the plantation and go push up some other plants somewhere with throwaway girl character, but everything changes when he meets 02. Another pilot with pink hair and horns who has trouble keeping a partner because no one can ride her for more than 3 times before kicking the bucket. But of course, 02 is destined to be heroes number 1. Join White Bride Hero, horny in more than one ways, 02, and the rest of the lovable cast for 24 episodes of cliché teen drama, forgettable action sequences, in-your-face symbolism, and social commentary. I'm sure much more for anyone who actually likes this show, I guess. Number 4, Every Cloud. Before I elaborate as to why I'm being so negative, I'll be fair by going over what I liked about the show first. Aesthetically, I think it's a good-looking show overall, definitely looking the part of a Studio Trigger show, and that's a good thing. Color and lighting is used strikingly in correspondence with cinematic levels of camera direction that a strong sense of tone is communicated through the visuals alone, and certainly in ways above your average run-of-the-mill seasonal show. The settings themselves are also well realized, with the aforementioned color and lighting to the point that the backgrounds tend to be the most memorable aspect of the show to me. The Franxx, or mechs in the show, are also okay and distinct from your traditional-looking Gundam with the large moe eyes, and a build reminiscent of Stardiver because they hired the same guy who designed the mechs in that show. It's just a shame that there isn't much to differentiate each Franxx from each other besides their appearance, and ones that appear later on don't belong to the main cast are sloppily boring by design. The animation maintains a pretty above average level of quality, whether you're watching the action sequence or simply seeing the characters interact with each other. Unfortunately, I find it rather wasted on the former, as although it's flashy and impressive looking, it is also very forgettable because of how uninteresting I find the mech battles to be overall. You see why I used the book by its cover phrase earlier? My compliments stop past that point, really. Number 5. The plot. Now, going into the bad, I'll talk about things in a gradient, from what I found to be the least egregious stuff to what I think failed the show most of all, with some levels of overlap as they sometimes feed into each other. Firstly, the overarching plot about getting rid of Klaxosaurs and the source of all the big bads of the show is boring and forgettable. Every dramatic reveal about the nature of the show's threats is either predictable or steeped in pretentious intentions to communicate some sort of done-to-death message, such as how the Klaxosaurs could be summed up as the ferociousness of nature lashing out against mankind, overstepping its bounds. The intrigue and mystery of this future world plays second fiddle in the presence of themes and focus on character arcs, and that would be fine if those amounted to anything, but it is also possible to achieve a near-perfect balance of a strong overarching narrative to go along with Hero's journey, and we're concentrating on that mainly. So, number 6, white noise. Now, you ever watch movies that tie into existing Shonen Jump series? You know, your Bleach, Naruto, Dragon Ball, One Piece films that boast a production value better than any sections of the series that they're based on, and yet in many instances can be more forgettable than the loathed filler arcs of such shows. That might be a bit of an exaggeration, but that's the vibe I constantly get in the action sequences in Darling in the Franxx. Sure, what you're seeing on screen is impressive instances of simulated movement, but it means nothing when you're in no way invested. See, as a result of my previous point about how the overall plot is basically a skeleton made to be fleshed out with character drama first and foremost, there's no meaningful sense of danger or intensity with what we're being shown here. The Klaxosaurs, while impressively animated and varied in appearance, have no sense of presence or personality and thus reach the status of sort of glorified Power Ranger kaiju monster of the week. Also, the other enemies that may... Sorry, I got a message here. Okay, that's fine. Might as well take a drink while I'm on it. Tonight we're drinking anime Pulse staple mentioning your drink. Tonight we're drinking Kirin beer because it's better than Asahi as far as premium Japanese beers go. Okay. Anyway. Where was I? Also, the other enemies that may or may not show up later don't fare much better, by the way, than the Klaxosaur monsters. Any encounter amounts to basically this. There's drama between our main cast of pilot characters. They sort out their issues and win the day, or there's something wrong between the main characters and something goes wrong during the fight, and that's about it. Not to mention, there's a little to no long-term consequences for these encounters for the 24-episode run of the show. So I'm pretty sure most would struggle to give much of a shit about each skirmish. The titular Franxx don't help either with this either. I used either twice, what the fuck. While I complimented them in the appearance, there's little to set them apart in what they can actually do. I remember that the main one that Hero uses has a lance, but without maybe looking at some screenshots, I couldn't fucking tell you what the rest of them can do, which is kind of a shame. Most of the time, it's the Protag's robot that does anything anyway of value, but what a waste given that Trigger's Kill la Kill even it had its unimportant villains of the week, had interesting and varied abilities to go with their designs, and the central characters had fighting styles that reinforced the sorts of characters that they were. Summing it up, while the Klaxosaurs and the main Franxx mechs look different enough, in a story that involves action, it's just as important what the characters can actually do. Put all that together and voila, we have flashy fights that are unmemorable due to the lack of investment, and no interesting choreography because the capabilities of those fighting are not clearly defined. Number 7. It's symbolic. Darling in the Franxx is up its own ass, and with its surface-level commentary on what it means to grow as a human, sex, and probably more, peppered with monologues from the main character, with metaphors and teen angst emo talk aplenty. It's okay if you want to have themes in your story, but with something that doesn't have much going beyond those said themes, you better have something interesting to say about those subjects, which, no, Darling in the Franxx has got none of that. Let's take the whole prevalent themes of sex throughout the show and extrapolate some conclusions as a thought experiment. If piloting a Franxx is an allegory for sex and Hero is incompetent at it unless it's with 02, then the message is that it only really works when it's with your special one. Okay. And inevitably, it is that love between 02 and Hero that is the humanity's main beacon of hope, basically meaning that true love conquers all. What an original concept. Also, continuing on this theme, being gay is wrong by Franxx's metrics. The two characters that exhibit homosexual behaviors don't get what they want. One gets the gay fucked out of him by a real woman, apparently, and the other experiences rapid aging. That'll teach her. The fat guy also gets cucked out of his coupling, but that's nothing particularly new in regards to the medium of anime's opinion on obesity, I guess. Look, I could go on and on about like symbolism and shit, about how 02's hopping between partners is a commentary on sexual promiscuity, and what is actually killing them is the spread of STIs. But it is what it is, and at the end of the day, misdirection is what this basically is, to kind of divert our attention from what is a basic as fuck story with basic as fuck characters. Speaking of which, number 8, characters. Look, a lot of what I could have, should have, would have been good with the show is sacrificed to the character drama, and it's just not entertaining in this show. Individually, there are arcs for some of them, most notably 02, who starts off wild and out of control until a secure man, Hero, is stable but likely hormonally driven enough to stomach her bullshit enough for her to undergo a character change so drastic and unnatural that she might as well have been introduced as someone completely different from that point onwards. Then between everyone, there's shit like love triangles and all manner of cuckoldings apparently aplenty. It's like anime Love Island to the point where its drama caused significant discussions and reactions from audiences in real life, mostly revolving around one character invading a lot of people's popular OTP, as it were. Unfortunately, it didn't spark anywhere close to that level of outrage from me enough to create a stupid hashtag, but that's likely because, as established in this show, failed to really make me care or hook me in any way, shape, or form. In an anime where we literally watch these kids grow and take full responsibility for their own lives, it's amazing how little I feel changes about them, actually, by the end. They aren't able to break from their archetypes, and those that do wind up being uninteresting anyways. Concluding this point, for an anime so focused on character, something I usually actually enjoy, they sure do fail to leave an impact individually, and even less so to me as a group. This is doubly disappointing because, yet again, this is Studio Trigger, who are quite capable within a small amount of screen time to charm me with quirky and memorable characters, and hey, maybe that sits at the heart of the issue. Maybe they were held back by a focus on themes and the serious tone of the show to be able to create that sense of excitement beyond just spectacle. Maybe it just lacked focus to the point that delivering something I'd have liked was impossible, but maybe I'm also just lost in what could have been as to what Darling in the Franxx was. And what Darling in the Franxx was is a flash in the pan for the industry and a stain in the legacy of a studio that I thought could do better and I could expect better from. An exemplar for future discussions I'll have about anime, despite being a visual medium, requires so much more to it in order to leave an impact. And that's all I really got to say when it comes to Darling in the Franxx for now. And that actually went a lot longer than I first thought when I started writing that, by the way. But yeah, I don't really do ratings on this show at the moment. I suppose I could just look at it on Mal. And you can kind of you can extrapolate what I think of it from my rating of it. What did I rate Darling in the Franxx? Let's see. I gave it a 5. I gave it a 5 out of 10. Could be better. It'd be quite easy. You know, I think one thing I did good there was I didn't blame everything wrong about the show on the fact that Studio A1 Pictures and Cloverworks worked on it. Given that I would say like amongst this trio here, they'd be the weaker links. Because I honestly don't know. I didn't do enough research as to knowing who contributed most to what, so that would be unfair of me to do. But yeah, 5 out of 10. Definitely not bad, but in no way special, really, which is a real shame. Oh yeah, no, one last thing actually, right? Because going over the characters just a bit here, right? What's his name? You know, I only noticed this later on. This poster here is like the first poster that I saw when I was like scrolling through AniChart. You know, it comes up. You know, you see that. Oh, that looks right eye-catching. Look at the colors and shit. It's really nice. Then you see it and you zoom in, right? And I was talking about how all the characters are really archetypical, and they are archetypical and boring. This guy's a fucking loser. She's like, you know, she's your Asuka substitute here with the pigtails. You got Naruto Uzumaki here. You know. But you know what's actually I found pretty funny, because I mentioned last week in my review of Mayoiga that whenever anime has like a fat character, like an obese character, they always go too far and over the top just to emphasize their fat. So they'll always have them talking about food or eating or something. I found it really funny because I didn't notice at the time, but in this poster, he's actually eating in the fucking poster. Like they're all doing something or posing, and he's got a fucking like a loaf of bread there. He like. Sometimes he actually gets to go beyond that stereotype of being the fat guy, but like his first scenes, he's carrying like the most bread and just grabbing more food. And actually, a part of his story later on, where he's going through personal issues of his own, it's summed up by him not eating. So it's like, what's wrong, fatty? You're not eating? There must be something wrong with you. It's like he could just be dieting or whatever. But you know, there you go. But yeah. Not a good crew. You really would want something like, because I think with such a large cast of characters, all of different personalities, you really want something like a One Piece crew, like from like One Piece, with like Luffy and everything, where you kind of get a feeling that they're all like family and like they all have different intermingling relationships, and no matter which combination of them you have in the room, something interesting will happen. But I mean, like, you could put her in the room with him, like Naruto with Glasses Girl here, and I don't know, like a lot of them aren't very fleshed out. And I guess the biggest problem, I'm extending this review longer than it needs to be. The biggest problem of it is Hiro himself as well. Like, I don't like Hiro. I think he's fucking boring too. Like, oh, you can relate to him because you felt inadequate before, haven't you? There you go. Oh, there you go. Super relatable. You'll love Hiro. He's so great. No, that's it. That's all he's got going for him. But I could ramble much longer, and I probably shouldn't. So yeah, that's Darling in the Franxx. I don't know if there's anything else we gotta do then. That's pretty much everything I have planned for today's show. Wow, 6 people are currently watching. That's kind of cool. Don't know. I know one of them is me there actually, so it's technically 5. Yeah. But I guess for now, I guess I'll close it off. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get things set with OBS. In the future, look out, I'm going to try and set things up so that I have, what's his name? OBS working so we can actually get some sound. Maybe we can just watch some, maybe we can actually watch some trailers and do some like reactions and stuff to things, and, you know, make it seem a bit more like professional stream podcasty, you know. And, you know, future reviews. Not really sure what I'm going to review next. Still deciding. There's no way I'm going to finish Nagi no Asukara by then. And what was it? I'll try and get some news ready for next week, because, you know, I don't know how, I just ran out of time. It took me much longer to write about Darling in the Franxx than I first thought. And again, I had issues with OBS, which is why we're doing this through Google Hangouts. But I'm waffling again at this point. So thank you. Oh, fuck. Burped in the middle of my sign off. But anyway, thanks everybody for joining me, and commenting and stuff. If you have anything interesting you want for me to cover next time, or any ideas for the show, you know, this is a very open platform, very, like, you know, subject to change sort of landscape that I'm setting up here. It's very loose and, you know, ever changing. So, you know, people feel free to leave comments, or, you know, once this chat closes, because, you know, once we stop streaming. So feel free to let me know below, and I will be reading that. And yeah, Actually, you know, I'll even do like something like a community section, like I do on Anime Pulse, where I'll maybe address comments if there's anything of interest. But yeah, until next time, I don't have a sign off, so I'm just gonna cut off now. So bye. Oh wait, no. In the Dere survey, my sign up, what I would say for goodbye is see ya.